Well, good evening, YouTube viewers, subscribers. This is Simplex Tech, the original. And earlier tonight I was watching a video between the SDX and Fire Alarm 5000, reminiscing, got me to thinking about some of my old videos and, God forbid, some of the comments that probably went along with those. But anyway, I thought there were a couple things I wanted to share. First of all, I'm still around. Been with the company 17 years. I'm just not out in the field anymore, so I don't have the opportunity to make videos of me walking around. But I did dig out a couple things from the attic, and what you're seeing here is the Simplex 4051 with the back plate, and this is the 24 volt series. And the reason I brought this out was because one of the banters I saw the most and recall the most was always about March time, and is it 120 or less? I don't know, but it always seemed to come up in conversation. So before I get to that, I just wanted to show that this is the 4051 with the plate. This is the actual horn. Actually, this whole box here is from the elementary school that I attended as a kid. It was built in 1979, and if you watch my YouTube video called I think it's School Fire Drill, I believe. Anyway, it's where I pull a pull station and there's blue panther paw prints painted on the wall. You'll hear these horns in action. You'll maybe hear some banter between me and some of my elementary school teachers that were still there and as they were leaving the building. But anyway, back when I started with the company, if you had horns like this that didn't work, you would bring them back to the office and try and fix them. And when you got done trying to fix them, you know, the way these ones work, there's a diaphragm in here that vibrates from the electricity going through it. In fact, there's even a little set screw, for those of you who don't know, to adjust the volume. You could put it as at the max volume, which it is right now, or screw it down all the way to suppress the volume, which really doesn't suppress it that much. But we would hook it up to something like this. This is feed from AC power. Step down transformer in there. We have the switches set to neutral right now. Flip the switch on, and this is a DC horn, so we're going to test it that way. So we give it a try. So I would say that worked. But yeah, that was kind of what our system sounded like when we had a fire drill, because we used March time at the school. Before I get to that part, though, wanted to show the spec book from when they built the school. And the architect had flat spec Simplex with the 4051, which you're going to see here, semi-flush plate. Here's the back box that was behind the wall, which was recessed. This was on the wall, and then this projected a little outside of the wall. This again was the 4051 DC series. Going back to the March time rate card, again to try and settle the debate of all these years, it was not coming from me. It was actually coming from the manufacturer, which you'll see here. They spec'd this at 120 beats per minute. So yeah, I will admit though, when you have a horn hooked up to the power source as close as this, you're probably going to get that. But in most cases where you have a series of horns and you factor in voltage drop and the number of horns on a circuit, then yes, you're going to have a slower march time rate. So anyway, enough of that. Time to sign off. Have a good night. If you're curious, you want to learn, keep doing what you're doing. If you're in the fire and life safety industry, definitely keep doing what you're doing. What we do is important. It's always going to be needed. And have a good night.